All right. So welcome everyone. And the best way to describe Alex is first time our last owner, Rob, told me I need to meet Alex. And he said, hey, he's coming to Austin. This was a digital marketer event and he will be there. And I was going to be there. And he said you can meet him there. And Justin was going to be there as well. So I went to the event. Event is going on and I had not met Alex yet. And I saw him around, of course. I did not know that was Alex. I didn't have a picture or anything. And Justin had already met. And then Alex goes up on stage. It was after lunch. So you know what, these all-day sessions, after lunch, the energy goes down and people are kind of like saying, hey, when will this be over? They just had lunch. And Alex goes up on stage and he lights it up immediately. Like, as you saw him show up here, right? He immediately took it over and started talking and getting people involved. And I said, man, who's this guy? I did see him walking around, but by seeing him, you could not realize that how much full of energy he is. But just put him on the stage and he just takes it over. And so I was said, great, this is great. This is Alex. So of course, I'll talk to him later, which we did later. Then the second part which happened is we go to a lot of coaching sessions and other sessions. I've seen a lot of presentations. Some are great, some are okay. And especially in sales, there are a lot of presentations and techniques, which I feel like, man, yeah, this sounds, I don't know whether it will work. But the way Alex did this, I was saying, wow, this is like true sales guy. And he did this live session asking questions. Okay, let's role play. And it was amazing. So, and then after we met and we said, we got to have you on our webinar to our agency guys, talking to them. So that's how, so of course we have talked since then and we're doing more stuff together. But the intro was to a gentleman walking around who said, okay, it's somebody there, just wearing shorts and walking around with his hat. Who is he? But he goes on stage, then you know this is Alex. So that's the Alex I present to you guys. Amazing sales coach. I don't know any better sales coach than Alex personally. So let me put it that way. Right?
Thank you.
So the stage is yours, Alex. Let's go.
Avi, thank you so much. And everyone here on the live right now, thank you so much for joining us today. Super grateful for your time. Time is the most valuable asset that we have. So you providing that to us here today, I'll make sure that I deliver for you. I don't want this to just be a presentation. It's always better when we get feedback and back and forth. Right now, the chat isn't working, but I'm going to ask you to use the Q&A feature when we're going through this. So we're just going to do a test right now. If you're watching with us live right now and you're excited, can you just throw a 7 in the Q&A, please? A 7, the number 7. I just want to make sure that you guys are with me. This time that you're giving us today, I would really strongly recommend that you just put away all distractions. I know there's a million things to do on Thursday at noon Eastern. I get it. You got emails, you got responsibilities, you have clients, you have follow-up that you want to do. If you really want to get the most out of the sales training I'm about to bring to you, I promise if you are distracted, you will not be able to get the most out of this. It is a very worthwhile training. I'm very capable in helping you become a better salesperson selling PPC or Facebook advertising or social media or SaaS or coaching products, whatever it is. And I would love to give you the insight. What I'm going to share with you today is exactly what my clients get from me. It's the exact same thing. I'm not withholding anything from you. I'm going to give it all to you. The biggest thing, though, is that you are here, you're present, you're getting everything you need from me. I'm seeing a bunch of 7s, which I appreciate. And I'm really, really excited to share this with you. I'm very, very passionate about sales, and I'm really looking forward to supporting you. What I'm going to ask you to do right now in the Q&A chat, can you let me know what you sell and what the price is of what you sell? So I sell a marketing service to med spas for $3,000 a month. I sell a coaching program to men for $10,000 total. I sell a SaaS product for $500 a month. Can you just drop in the chat exactly what you are doing, please, in your business and what you are selling so I know? That would be great. And we'll go from there. And then I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started. Zoran, totally get it. Dinner time, you're hungry. Please feel free to eat while you're on here with me. It's all good. PPC ads for roofers, Wells, gotcha. PPC for cosmetic dentists, starting at $3K. Paid social marketing services by Josh for $3K. Ad management for $300. That's way too little, my man. Your last name is Spolstra. That's amazing. That's the head coach of the Miami Heat. Big Heat fan. All right, let's rock and roll. I'm going to share this with y'all. We're going to get going. as we go through this, if you have any questions at all, just drop them in the chat and I will make sure that we handle them for you. And I'm going to make a promise for you as we get here started today. By the end of this call, you will know how to handle every single objection that you've ever gotten before. If I cannot handle an objection for you, I will personally send you $100 on PayPal as an apology for wasting your time. It's impossible. You cannot send me an objection that I don't know how to handle. I'll make sure you're taken care of. Now, because this training usually is about an hour, doing role playing after the fact might take too long. I have a training, specifically 10 minutes, that goes through all of the main objections that I will send to you all when we're done here today. Okay. So with that being said, you guys ready to get started? Just hit me with a 7 in the chats. We're going to get rolling. Love this, guys. Everyone's sharing all their details. Yeah, the chat is disabled. We're just going to use the Q&A for today until if we can figure out the chat.
I think it's done. Can anyone try putting something in chat and see if it appears?
Does it?
I fixed it.
Does the chat work, fam? Try it out.
Yeah,
Let me,
it seems like everyone.
it says everyone.
Yes.
Does it work? Are you guys able to use the chat feature, or is it still only the? Nope, still disabled. It says. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's just use Q&A. It's all good. That's what we're going to use for today. It's really totally fine. It's basically the exact same thing. So let's not worry about it. Let's just focus on what we control. It's not an issue. We'll just use the Q&A feature and have a laughable amount of Q&As. So it'll be perfect. Don't worry about it. Let's just use Q&A. Let's get started. Let's do this. First of all, we're going to be talking about the psychology of the one call close. The ultimate goal of this is so you don't have to do endless follow-up, no more proposals, no more qualifying calls. I don't want you to have to deal with that anymore. You might be thinking, okay, who's this guy, right? Who's Alex Schlinsky? Here's a couple fun facts about me. I am the co-founder alongside my beautiful wife of an incredible entrepreneur mastermind called Prospecting on Demand. We help agency owners and coaches scale to 7 figures and beyond. I run a PI, a marketing agency for personal injury attorneys. I've been doing that for over a decade, 12 years now. And even for the first 4 years, I didn't even know about it. So we can talk about that some other time if you want. I've sold well over $15 million worth of products in the last decade and have helped coach sell over $100 million. So very confident in what I deliver and your ability to use this. I did have open heart surgery in 2020 when I was 29 years old. I strongly recommend against it. It totally sucked, but I'm really glad to be alive. So I'm really glad to be here with you all today. I also was a journalist for the UFC and the NFL as well. Big sports fan. So if you ever want to chat with me about that stuff, I'm happy to do so. But I love talking about sales, and that's what we're going to be diving into here today. Let's start with the obvious thing, which is a lot of you are going to ask for all of the slides. I don't want you to have to screenshot every single slide. I'm going to have this at the end, but if you just text me 1cc to this number, you're just going to get all the slides.
Chat is working, by the way. Just to interrupt, chat is working. You can use
that. Figured it out. Amazing. Sweet. Okay, we can use the chat moving forward. If you want to get these slides, you can just text me 1cc at this number. We'll give it to you again at the end, so don't worry about it. But anyways, you can have that for you later. I'll give you all the slides so you have all the frameworks and everything. Here's what we're going to cover on this session. We're going to go through some sales psychology. We're going to be doing the one call close sales frameworks. We're going to be doing a vocabulary quiz, which is always fun. I'm going to show you how to handle objections live. So any objection you deal with, you're going to give it to me. I'm going to handle it for you. And then also how to get paid on the first sales call, which is ultimately the goal for most of you. Now, obviously, the question is going to be, does this work? Avi can sit here and tell you how great I am on stage, but does this work actually in person? I just wanted to show you a couple examples of this. I have about 10,000 of these screenshots, but the idea behind this is just showing you differences of types of programs. Like on the far right, you'll have an $1,000 service for ads. In the front, you'll have a PPC one that's for $4,700 a month. You'll have some guy that's at $200,000 a month using this. You have someone in the middle, Bel Santos, who does one call closes from ads. You have someone using the one call close script for a $9,000 contract. This works. It works for every industry, every niche. And ultimately, I'm going to help make it work for you. Doesn't matter what you sell, who do you sell to, you're going to be able to use this insight to be able to sell more effectively. Let's start with just misconceptions first and foremost, okay? This is not like the movies. I apologize to Leonardo DiCaprio playing Jordan Belfort or Alec Baldwin in Glengarry Glen Ross. This isn't selling by any means necessary. This isn't being super aggressive. It's about understanding how to sell properly. How to sell properly means you know it's not a Q&A. One of the biggest problems that I see with salespeople in general is that they're trying to sell through a Q&A, questions and answers, and pre-preparing responses, which is a horrible method for having success in sales. You're not a robot. Don't just ask questions and then get an answer and then ask the next question. You're also not selling by any means necessary. Try to consider that you want to be selling the way that you want to be sold. You don't want to be sold by any means necessary. You want to be sold appropriately because that person on the other end of the screen is here to help you and create impact for you. The other misconception is, Alex, why are you doing this training in the first place? So I want to bring that up for two reasons. One, I love Invisible PPC, from Rob Warner to Avi Kumar and Justin Rondo. Two, of course, some of you watching this will think, hey, Alex can help me grow my business, in which case you're more than welcome to work with me. I'm not going to force it down your throat. I'm not going to aggressively push you to do it. I'm going to give you training. You can use it or you can work with us. Either way is totally fine. And of course, Avi didn't mention this, but Invisible PPC will be sponsoring our POD live event next month in Tampa, Florida. We still have, I think, Avi, a few spots and some sponsorship slots from Invisible PPC available. I think 3 tickets. So if you want to come out, you're more than welcome to. But those are some misconceptions I wanted to break right away. I have nothing to sell you on this call. I'm just giving you the insight that you're looking for sales coaching, okay? Let's start with this really important comment. Sales is a service. Sales itself is a valuable opportunity for someone to identify the problems that they have right now and a solution that they can come up with to get the result that they're looking for. Sales itself is an actual service, and that's something a lot of people forget about. The next piece is that sales happen in the uncomfortable. Most people are afraid to ask for payment, to get paid on a call because they're worried about coming off too aggressive or anything like that. But the more uncomfortable you are, the more comfortable you become. If you are comfortable in the uncomfortable, you will be very successful in sales. You have to remember, right? Most salespeople and most people that are being sold buy based off emotional decisions, not logical decisions. And that's where things become uncomfortable for people. Telling someone to make an investment, forcing their hand, these things become very challenging. But when you do it correctly, it's not only empowering for you, it's incredibly empowering for the prospect as well, especially when you really believe in your product and service, which is ultimately the key of being successful. And when you have an amazing team like IPPC behind you, how could you not possibly be confident about your service? Let's break down the 3 core tenets in sales, okay? The 3 core tenets are the words that you say, right? The tone in which you say them. Tone is 2 things, right? The volume of your voice and the speed, the rate in which you speak. So some people say I speak really, 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 really fast. Sometimes though, I'll slow down to get a point across specifically, right? The next point is the visual component. So I just want to ask in the chat right now, how many people on this call have a visual component in their sales? Like have a sales deck, have a demo video, have like testimonials you show, or how many people are doing phone calls? Can you just say visual, yes or no? You can just drop yes or no in the chat. Okay, so a couple of yeses, couple no's. Anyone that has a no, if you consider right away that there's 3 core tenets, the words that you say, the tone in which you say them, and the visual component, if you have no visual component in your sales, you're immediately cutting off at least 33% of your sales success. You should have a visual in your sales calls. Even if it's a phone call and you send a text with an image of your product, that's good enough. But you should have visual transitions in your calls. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot harder to be successful long-term with this. Okay, so types of sales calls. Let's break these down. I want to know in the chat right now, which one do you do the most of? Which one are you doing right now in the chat? 1, 2, or 3? The prospecting offer call is where you go to someone and say, hey, I want to do an SEO audit for you, right? I want to look at where you're at right now on Google and give you feedback on your ads and blah, 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 blah. And then giving them the 2 option close, which is pretty simply like, either you can do this yourself or I can do this for you, right? Very common offer in the space, especially for outbound prospecting. It's very effective and it's still a 1-call close format. It's just not the most effective 1-call close format. Before we talk about number 2, let's talk about number 3. This is by far the worst method, also the most common method, which is a discovery call. It's a 2-call close format. So you'll get on a call with a client, let's say a roofer, you'll do a conversation with them for 15 or 20 minutes and say, hey, I'm confident I can help you. Can we chat tomorrow? And I'll show you the demo of our program. That makes no sense. There's no reason anyone on this call should do that. It is a stupid method. It's not effective. And I'm going to show you why on this call, mostly because the value of the prospect's time is the most important thing, not their credit card. And I'll show you how to do that today. And that's how we're going to implement the 1-call close. All right. How many of you are doing that? Okay. So some of you are doing, It looks like very few of you are doing 2-call closes right now, which is great. Love that. Let's talk a little bit about sales psychology. Did anyone go to school for psychology on this call? Anyone go to school for psychology, or is anyone interested in psychology? A lot of times there's a lot of people that are really uniquely interested in psych. That's what I graduated from college with. I'm super interested in how the human brain works and how our minds work and how we make decisions. So I'm always interested in that related to sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the 1950s psychoanalytic theory that's going to help you close more than 50% of your leads on just one call. Now, obviously, most of you have heard of Sigmund Freud, right? If you've heard of Sigmund Freud, just drop a 1 in the chat. Most of you have heard of that, okay? Right? The reason why most people hear of Sigmund Freud is because he had some very hot takes, as people will call it, like loving your mom and all those kind of weird Oedipus complex stuff that he spoke about. But he's actually just one of the very famous psychoanalysts. Another very famous one, his name is Eric Berne. Eric Berne is a Canadian psychoanalyst, similar time around 1950s where Sigmund Freud was very famous, but he posited something that I think is really valuable for sales psychology, and that's called transactional analysis. And you can, on your own time, look this up. It's super fascinating insight. It has nothing to do with sales actually when he was talking about it, but it's very relevant for sales when you understand it in this format. What transactional analysis posits is that every person you speak to has 3 ego states at the exact same time. And what you need to do in order to convince someone, to influence someone, to get someone to pay you is make sure you're overcoming each of those 3 ego states, right? And sales isn't just a monetary exchange, right? Sales is also convincing your mom to let you go out with that girl that you want to go out with, or convincing your parents to let you go to that party or on that vacation with your friends in high school, or convincing your daughter to not go out with that guy that you don't want him to go out with, right? Sales is so much more than just exchange of finances. It's convincing. That's what sales is, right? Now, obviously, in this format, I'm coaching you on convincing and exchanging finances for goods, but still, it's important to understand this of why he created transactional analysis. It's how human beings communicate. And there's 3 ego states: the parent, the adult, and the child. Now, the value of understanding this transactional analysis will help you not just in sales, it'll help you in retention and all of your marketing as well, all of your copywriting, all of your advertising, etc. if you're speaking to these 3 ego states. Let's touch on each of these ego states. The parents are naturally skeptical. The reason why they're naturally skeptical is usually for security purposes, right? Because you want to make sure your children are safe and secure, so you're skeptical of everything. And that is a very common trope in sales. Prospects are very, very skeptical of what you're providing to them, right? The next piece is logical, right? Now, this is for adults. We would hope in the day and age that we live in today that most human beings are logical. Obviously, we know that's not always the case, but what we want is 1 + 1 = 2. If your offer right now is one of those ethereal, not very tangible offers, where essentially it boils down to 1 + 1 actually equals 3, that's where you start to lose people in your sales process. It needs to be a very simple logic puzzle. If you put this piece and this piece together, you get this result every time. And then the last piece is the childlike dream. And this is the big dream that people start their business with. And most people completely forget about the childlike dream. Most people in sales will help overcome skepticism through testimonials and through logic will show a simple format to get a result, but they'll completely forget about the childlike dream that they had of why they started this business in the first place. Most people that started any business had a much deeper reason than I want to be an attorney, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a roofer, I want to be a dentist. The thing that they really wanted was freedom, financial freedom, impact, ability to support their family, the ability to have freedom of their time. Why did they build this business is such an important piece, and the why questions are simply not asked enough in sales. Think about it yourself. How often are you really diving deep into the why of what someone provides to you? If a roofer tells you, I want to get 10 more jobs per month, and you say, why? And they say, because I want to make more money. Well, that's not good enough. Why do you want to make more money? If they don't know, and you know your audience really well, you can speak it for them. Here's a good example. Well, perhaps one of the reasons you'd want more money is so you can hire another roofer or get another truck on the road so you don't have to be the one doing all the work yourself. You can spend more time with your kids. Is that right? Now you can speak for them on the why. And that framework, when you understand these 3 elements, it makes a massive difference in your sales approach. So here's how you use the PAC in 1-call closes. For the parent, you just have to show proof of success and testimonials. If you are brand new and you don't have any proof of success, just let me know and we'll come back to that later on in the call. Number 2 is the adult. If you cannot explain your offer in 3 or 5 steps maximum to achieve your result, you are simply not going to sell. people often sell the recipe instead of selling the result, right? So I'm gonna give you guys a quick test really quick, okay? I think this is very, very valuable to hear, okay? I'm gonna give you 3 ingredients. I want you to just type in the chat what you think I'm making from these ingredients, okay? I'm gonna get dough, marinara sauce, and cheese. What am I making? What am I making? We got a lot of pizzas. Okay, here's the thing though, I'm making a calzone. I'm making a calzone. So all of you are wrong. So the point of me bringing this up, right? The point of me bringing this up is this is what ends up happening when you're doing sales for your products, right? When you're doing sales for your products, you're like, we have this amount of ads that we set up and we do this type of copywriting and we have this thing, and you're telling them all the recipe, but you didn't even get to the result, which is we're going to get you 10 appointments per month. And they're like, no, I need 25. That problem is very common. It's why you need to have a very simple process to achieving a very simple result. Yeah, I'm not a ricotta cheese fan, and Antonelli, I get you though. Anyways, that's the point, right? This is really, really important that you sell the result, not the recipe. And then the last piece is the child. Like, what was their actual dreams and goals of this business? And can you help manifest those through their investment? Because they've probably become, seeing the world through rose-colored glasses where they think they can't actually achieve what they really wanted to, either because they've been burned before by other marketing agencies, or they're struggling with X, Y, or Z, or their idea of why they wanted to run the business 5-10 years ago. It's totally outlandish now, but maybe you can make it happen. And these elements are really important. If this is valuable so far, just drop a 1 in the chat below. Just want to make sure you guys are enjoying this. And thanks for engaging with me. I appreciate that. All right, let's just talk about some elements of sales psychology in general before we move into the frameworks itself. 4 pieces of tips that I think are great. The first is that empathy really matters. You really cannot fake empathy. You really have to listen to people. When I was younger, my dad used to tell me that there's a huge difference between listening and hearing, right? So hearing is like when it's like blah, 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 and going in one ear out the other. Listening is when all of your attention is focused on this one specific thing. You're internalizing it, understanding it, and ready to execute on it. Those things are very different. And when you think about your sales process, you should really consider, am I just hearing them or am I listening? A lot of people that I do audits for, because in POD, we audit sales calls for our clients, like listening to them, I can tell that what they're doing is they're not actually listening to the answer that the person is saying. They're just ready to say something. They're ready to ask the next question. Empathy really matters. I'll give you the example of how bad this has been before. I had an audit call once where this woman was saying, COVID ravaged my business. My dog died recently. My father has been sick for the last year, and I've just been struggling so much to get this off the ground. And then the salesperson goes, that's great. I can really help you. It's like you didn't listen to anything they just said, and now you sound like an idiot. Worse, not only do you sound like an idiot, you sound crass. You sound like you don't care. Empathy really matters. Caring about the other person on the end of the phone is key, right? At the end of the day, like if someone's on a call with you, it's because they have a problem that maybe you can solve. You should care about that. It's important. Number 2 is seed planting and confirmation statements. This is a really important piece of understanding how to prime the human brain. There's this idea of understanding, which I'm about to do in a vocab quiz, the idea of priming people. The more that they say yes on a call, the closer chance they have to say yes at the end of the call. So when you're confirming as you're going through the call, like, hey, is this what you wanted? Is this what you were hoping for? Do you want this implemented in your business? Hey, don't worry. When we're working together, I'll help you deal with that problem that you have. These things are really, really key. It's future pacing that they're going to work with you. Number 3, just transparency. The more transparent you are in sales, the better sales are. The more honest and upfront you are, the better it is, right? I don't even want to read this quote because it's just a script, but you get the idea where it's just like, hey, I just really want to help you. Try to find the right tools, resources, support that you need. If I can help you, I'd happily make you an offer. If I don't think I can, I'll point you in the right direction. Pretty simple. And then lastly, the door isn't closing. This is a big misconception with one call closes, right? They think, well, you're trying to get people to be rushed into decision-making. I'm not trying to rush anyone into decision-making. The sale begins once the price is shared. That's really where the work comes in. But you do have to give them time to think it through so that their decision-making process can be done. When we get through objection handling, I'll share more about how this door isn't closing objection handling works, okay? Let's do a quick vocab quiz, all right? Does anyone know what this word means? Oh, I don't know what happened. That was weird. Oh, looks like I spoiled the vocab quiz. I apologize. Hold on. Well, it does matter. Anyways, a heuristic is a mental shortcut. It allows people to solve problems and make decisions efficiently. Now, the value of a heuristic and understanding this is we use heuristics for both decision-making and problem solving. Now, here's how heuristics works that are very interesting. And you can look this up on your own time if you want. But if someone asks you, what's your favorite color? And you just saw 10 blue cars pass you, your brain is more likely to say blue, even if it's not your favorite color. It's because you've been primed in what's called an availability heuristic. That was the thing that was most readily available for your brain. So it creates a shortcut to say that thing. This is why priming people to say yes on a call is so incredibly important, because you're going to shortcut their brain to say yes faster. And understanding that sales is decision-making and problem solving is how you can be effective in sales moving forward. Understanding how to utilize heuristics ethically, of course, in sales is how you effectively serve prospects in your one-call close. Now, I want to talk about this slide here really quick. When I want to read a couple important words here, how you ethically serve prospects. This is not how you sell by any means necessary. The things that I'm about to teach you right now, from now to the end of this webinar, are the same exact things that people that sell snake oil or charlatans use to close people in a predatory way. Don't be that person. Use the tools that I'm going to give you right now to sell from a place of love and integrity and support and care. When you do that, you will feel very good about yourself, and you will make incredible relationships with your clients and make massive differences in their life. If you guys are down for that, just drop a 2 in the chat below. If you are not down for that, very bluntly and super respectfully, please don't watch the rest of this training. I want you to do this with love and respect and integrity. Doing this ethically really matters to me. It's something that I care about deeply. Here's how you use heuristics in sales. This is the most important thing that I'm going to tell you on the entire training. If you are half listening right now because you're on Instagram or Facebook or Reddit or answering an email, which I told you shouldn't do, but if you are doing that, which I can't control you, now's the time to listen. Everyone asks, like, what's the 80-20? What's the 20% I can take away from this that will get the 80% result? It is this right here. Telling someone to work with you, not asking them to work with you. This is a huge thing. Most people end their calls with, what do you think? Do you want to work together? Do you like this? With all due respect, I'm going to curse. So just letting you know this to really get the point across. Who gives a shit what they think? You're not on the call to hear what they think. You're on the call because you are the expert. It's time to tell them. That's what sales is. Sell them. If you really believe in your product at the end of the call, you need to be telling them to work with you, not asking them. Some people will do like, okay, Chelsea, I really feel like this is a good idea for you. It's $2,500 a month. Do you want to work together? That's garbage. That's terrible salesmanship. Why do you care if they want to? What you want to do is sell them. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to say, Chelsea, this is a no-brainer. I just showed you how much money you're going to make. You're going to get the same results as the person I just brought up. The risk reversal is absolutely simple for you. You're going to get the result that you want. It's a $2,500 a month investment. We should be working together. You should do this. It's the right fit. Telling someone makes a massive difference. It also elevates your skill set to an entirely different level. And this is where most people get uncomfortable. If you listen to anything I say on this call, it is this. On your next call, if you believe with confidence that someone truly should work with you, tell them, don't ask them. I'll finish this point with this comment, okay? A lot of people are afraid to do this. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second to show you this. A lot of people are afraid to do this metaphorically because they're worried about coming off as too aggressive, right? They're worried that they're going to be too aggressive and it's going to look bad and now they're not going to work with you. One, that is totally not true and totally unreasonable for you to think. And two, this is why I know that's the case. Here's how, okay? I'm going to give you a quick example. Don't worry, we're not going to go into politics, but I'm going to use an example for you that will be really valuable. Let's use Donald Trump as an example, okay? Don't care what you think about him at all. That's irrelevant. But you do know this. If he does a speech, okay, there's an entire group of people that will say, that was the greatest thing I've ever heard. Then there's another entire group of people that will say, that's the worst thing that I've ever heard. He's a terrible person, right? Everyone can agree with that. That's correct, right? There's a group of people that say, this is great. Another group of people that will say, it's terrible. Drop a 1 in the chat if we're on the same page right now. It's really important that we're all on the same page with this, right? How is that possible? The interview was not edited, right? It's the exact same speech. Nothing's changed. Not edited. How's that possible? It's because we don't control the perception of the individual we speak with, right? I don't control the perception of Kathleen DeForg or Keith Price or Kyle Marvel or Marcelo Salup. I don't control the perception. You might watch this and think, oh my God, this guy Alex is the worst. There's other people on this call that might think, holy crap, this guy's brilliant. I don't control the perception of how you think about me. You do not control the perception of how a prospect thinks about you. So the biggest thing to understand is when you are walking the line in the sales call of, am I being too aggressive, or am I being too arrogant, or am I being too cocky, or am I being confident? When you're worrying about towing that line, the only thing you're really doing is seeding doubt. You're seeding doubt for yourself because now your voice inflection, your intention is misguided. Because you are afraid to be your full self, to show up with your full self, because you're afraid that they're going to say you're too aggressive, you're not being confident. You're coming off uncertain. And uncertainty and doubt is like poison. It's like blood in the water for a shark, right? They smell it from a mile away and there's no way they're going to work with you because of it. You have to be confident. Your intention matters. Is it possible that someone say, hey, you're too aggressive? It is possible. Will that likely happen? Probably not. I've done hundreds of thousands of calls at this point. I can count on my hand how many people I've ever said are too aggressive, right? And if they do, I explain, hey, I'm really sorry. That was meant to be coming off as confident. If you perceived it as aggression, I appreciate your transparency. That wasn't what I was trying to do. I'm just trying to showcase how confident I am in this. And I get very excitable about that. And then they either respect it or they don't. And that's okay. Here's the last comment on this, and then we'll move on. Because again, this is so important to understand in sales. If you're a sports fan, you may have heard this term of alligator arming it before. In baseball or in football, there's this idea of like laying out for a catch, right? Like laying out, going all for it, right? And those are the ones that are always on Sports Center, Top 10, et cetera. And then those are the ones that your like dad or yourself would be yelling at the TV if they don't lay out, if they don't give it their all. And you're like, why? Why didn't you dive? That's what you're doing in sales. If you are alligator arming it in sales, what you're doing is, do you want to work together? Do you want to work together? If you are willing to say, we should work together, then you're really diving. And here's the good news. When you dive, when you give it everything you got, when you go into the uncomfortable, the worst case scenarios, you bust your chin metaphorically. They say, nah, I don't want to, blah, blah, blah. You learn from it, you get better, you optimize and go to the next call. This is really, really, really important, right? You're not being pushy. You're not being aggressive. You're coming off with the intention of confidence. If you guys resonate with this, drop a 7 in the chat. I want to make sure you totally understand this. It is totally important that you get this and that you're willing to try it. Here's the thing though. It's easy to drop a 7, right? It's important that you're willing to do this though. The next time you get into your call and you're afraid to do this, remember my thoughts. Lay out. Just lay out. You'll be okay. Come with confidence. Come from a place of love and integrity and care and support, and it will work. And you'll be excited about it. As soon as you get off that call and you got paid, you'll be like, amazing. I freaking did it. It's incredible. You can do this. I believe in you. Seriously. I know you can. All right. Hopefully that helps. Let's keep going. All right. Number 2, you got to simplify your offer. How many of you right now in your sales calls are making more than one offer? It's really bad. It's a really bad look. So keep this in mind, right? I'm going to use a simple example, okay? I'm going to ask a question to you. You don't have to write this in the chat. Just think about the answer, okay? I'm going to say, do you want a Snickers? There are 3 potential responses that you can have to that question, okay? The 3 potential responses are, yes, I want a Snickers. No, I do not want a Snickers. Maybe I want a Snickers. Now let's go back into sales. Maybe is the most common response you get in sales. Maybe is veiled as many other things. Let me think about it. Let me talk to my partner about it. I'm not sure. I need to move money around. Let's start in a month. All of those things are maybes. The most rare answer in sales actually is no. No, most people don't say no. And then, of course, the one we all want is yes, okay? Now, here's the thing. When you say, do you want a Snickers or a Twix? Now what happens is yes, no, maybe to Snickers. Yes, no, maybe to Twix. Now there's 6 potential responses and options for them to consider. When you offer another package, that's 9 potential responses. You should only offer one thing. Imagine going to a doctor, okay? And the doctor is the expert for the problem that you have. And the doctor tells you, you have 3 options. Option 1, 2, or 3. What do you want to do? What do you think you would say? How the hell am I supposed to answer that? You're the doctor. Tell me what I need to do. This is the same thing in sales. How is someone supposed to answer that? You are the expert. Why are you giving them multiple packages? Tell them which one they should do. Now, this is important, right? Some very shitty sales coaches will tell you, always start with the highest price so that you can work down. No, don't do that. You offer the product that is best for the prospect. That is the job. That is what sales is for. If you are offering a product just because you make the most money from it, that makes you a bad salesperson and a shitty entrepreneur. Don't be that person, because you don't want to be sold that way. You would never want to be on a call thinking, well, this person's just going to offer me the highest price thing no matter what. That's crap. Don't be that person. Simplify the options and give them the best offer, what's best for them. Does that make sense? We good? Number 3, result, not recipe. We already went through this, so I'm not going to dive more deep into it, but think about that thing I shared about the pizza and calzone. Don't oversell the features. Don't get too deep into that. The only thing I'll add to it is sometimes you'll have a prospect that wants to ask like 1,000 questions about how the process works. It's really easy to use the plumber metaphor like this: 3, 2, 1. Hey, Christine, totally understand you want to get more detail on how the ad service works. I respect that. Let me just quickly take us out of this kind of scenario and put a different scenario in front of you that maybe will help the logic of this call move more efficiently. If your toilet was broken right now and you called a plumber who's an expert to come out there and fix your toilet, do you care if they use a snake, if they use a mechanical machine, if they do it by hand, or is the only thing you care about that they fix your toilet as simply, as quickly, and as cost effective as possible? You only care about them getting those 3 results, right? That's the thing here, right? The more that I dive deeper into the ads and how we do our frameworks and how many campaigns we run and where we run them, the more confusing it becomes for you. What I'll tell you is I'm more than happy to share any of that, but to benefit you best, my framework and thought process is trust me on this format that we're going to get you this result, right? Insert your result there. We're going to get you this result as cost effective and as quickly as possible. That's our job. Does that sound good to you? And when we get on the kickoff call, I'll happily show you everything else just so you can see it and make sure you're comfortable with it. Is that cool? That framework really helps. It's extremely important and will really give them a lot of opportunity to understand. But it's really common, right? Like, I don't care what the plumber does. I just want my toilet fixed. So it's just a common thing. Here's the thing, right? Confused prospects do not buy. They cannot buy, they will not buy. If you get a lot of your calls ending with, I need to think about it, that means what ends up happening is they're overanalyzing every decision. Now, here's the thing. Basically, no one is a good decision maker. Like, it's very, very rare. So I'm gonna just give you a quick example. If this has ever happened to you, ever, okay? I just want you to give you 3, put a 3 in there. Marcus, I'll answer your question in a second, or your comment. Put a 3 if this resonates. Give me a second, okay? Have you ever had this conversation with your wife, partner, husband, friend, etc.? Hey, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? I don't know. What do you want to do? Have you ever had that scenario ever? Just drop a 3 in the chat if you've ever had that scenario. Pretty much every single human being has had that scenario. Now, the question is, why do you have that scenario if you are not moving every single day and if restaurants aren't opening every single day? You already know all the options, right? You live there, you know where everything is. Why? It's because decision-making is a burden. Here's the crazy thing about decision-making. We want the freedom of choice, not the burden of choice. Think about what I just said. We want the freedom to choose, but not the burden to choose. That's why telling is so much more important than asking. That's why when you're in a group of people and you're like, what do you guys want to do for dinner? And someone finally says, let's just go get sushi. Half of the crew hate sushi, but they're going to go get it because someone made a decision, and it makes it easier to go with that decision. So when you tell someone to make the investment because you believe it, it makes the decision easier for them because you've primed them to say yes, and they want this, and you're the expert, and now they'll make the decision. Now, I just want to go back to what Marcus had said here, because he mentioned doctors do provide multiple treatment options at all time. Absolutely, they do. Doctors are not salespeople, though. When you tell a doctor then, what should I do? They're going to give you their recommended option, but they are not salespeople. So I'll give you a quick example, Marcus, very fast on this, and then we'll continue. So I mentioned I had open heart surgery in 2020. I did multiple, what's it called, tests and went to multiple different doctors, but eventually it was coming to the point that I was definitely going to have surgery, which, you know, is crappy. The first doctor I went to, Marcus, did this exact thing. He gave me multiple options. He's like, you can do the Ross procedure, you can do the aortic valve replacement with a mechanical valve, or you can do an aortic valve replacement with a bovine valve. And I explained to him, very stressed out, that you're the expert, I don't know what to do. And he gave me an answer that I didn't really love because he wasn't super confident with it. And so we left the office and I told my wife, honey, there's no way that I can go with this doctor. It's impossible. He's not confident enough. So the next doctor I went in and I said, this is going to sound very silly, but I'm a salesperson. I really need you to sell me on this. I need you to tell me what to do. And he said, you need to do the aortic valve replacement with the mechanical valve because of your age. You're going to be completely fine. I'm going to take care of you and you're going to meet your son. My wife was 5 months pregnant when I had my surgery. If you can see, this is my little man. He's the best thing in the whole world. I'm very grateful to be alive. I don't want to cry on this call, but it's really, really important that you understand how important it is to showcase your expertise, right? This is not a time to deflect your expertise. You have to showcase expertise. That's what this takes in sales, okay? What we want is our prospects ending calls with confidence. We want them to be confident about what you're providing, as opposed to thinking they have to overanalyze every single detail. When you get asked for a proposal and when they need to think about it and when they want to talk to competitors, that means they're not ending with confidence. That means they're ending with uncertainty. It means they're ending with they're not clear on whether or not they should do this. You should make them confident by telling them. It's going to make a big difference, okay? All right, so far, has this been valuable for all of you? If so, can you drop a 4 in the chat? I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't dropped a 4 yet, drop it in there. I'd love to see it. Thank you all so much. Does anyone have any questions really quick before we dive into the actual framework itself? And then we're going to dive into the framework and we will go from there. Okay, I'm going to need another 20 minutes or so, okay? Hopefully that's all right for all y'all. Mario, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. Okay, let's keep on rolling. Any point you have any questions, you just ask and we'll get it rocking. Okay, what just happened here? I'm having a little bit of a hard time with the slides. Okay, cool. Let's just talk about the intro frames. The intro frames on the calls are really simple. The second one that you see here, the second bullet point, is the second most important frame on the whole call. The first, again, is telling, not asking. Let's just go through each of these very quickly. The time and result frame looks something like this, okay? Hey, Avi, really appreciate your time today. Grateful for it. We'll chat probably like 30 to 45 minutes or so. Just want to make sure I can understand a little bit more about IPPC, what you're trying to accomplish, how I can support you. I'll give you the best resources I can on this call, ask you some questions. If I feel confident I can help, I'll be more than happy to make you an offer. If not, I'll try to point you in the right direction and go from there. Sound good? The reason you do this frame is for 2 reasons: avoiding 2 extremely annoying objections or problems. Number 1, which is, hey, how much time do we have left on this call? Because I have a meeting in 10 minutes. That sucks because you didn't frame how long the call is going to be. Or the most insane response, which is, there's an offer on this call. I didn't know that. So now they know. This second frame is super important. It is the second most important frame behind the telling at the end of the call, which is why they took the call. Asking someone why they're giving you their time is the whole crux of the one call close. The reason why I coach the one call close is understanding that time is our most valuable asset. I obviously believed this before I had open heart surgery, but after open heart surgery, I believed it significantly more. The reality is we all live with a metaphorical hourglass. We have absolutely no idea how much time we have available or left. We all wish and hope that we have a long time. And the way that we are as human beings is we constantly think it will never be us. Someone dies in a car accident, that will never be us. Someone has open heart surgery, that will never be me. This is life, unfortunately. I'm not trying to be morbid or having like too much conversation about mortality, but the reality is that is what life is. It does end, unfortunately, meaning the most valuable resource we have by a billion miles is time. Time is not a renewable resource. It cannot be bought, no matter how much money you have, no matter your socioeconomic status, no matter how many kids you have, no matter what your job is. Doesn't matter. You cannot buy more time. It's impossible. But you can get more money. Most prospects, when they come on a sales call, think that the most valuable asset they have is their credit card. It's not. It is the time they're already giving for nothing. The time you are all providing to me right now, the time that I'm providing to you right now is time that you are giving to me instead of giving to someone else or yourself. That's really valuable. So when you frame that at the front end of the call in sales, it completely transitions their entire framework to consider 1, why am I on this call with what intention? And 2, wow, my time is actually more valuable than my money. Now they'll be more willing to pay you at the end. Okay. So important. So this is important. Okay. This is how you handle it in 3, 2, 1. Hey, Chelsea, I'm grateful that we're on the call. Like I said, obviously you're giving me your time, your most valuable asset. I really want to make sure I deliver for you. What are you hoping for from this call? Why are you giving me time that you're not giving to your friends or family or clients or your son or daughter or catching up on Game of Thrones? You're here with me today. Why? And when you do that, there's really kind of like 3 potential responses. Someone that's very deliberate and intentional, which is, hey, Alex, the reason I'm on this call is because I'm really struggling in growing my marketing agency. I heard you're the best of the best in this. I'd really love your support. And I heard POD can help me. Let's chat about that. Cool. Then you have someone that realizes they have no idea why they're on the call and they're pretty willy-nilly, which looks something like this. Wow, that's actually a good point. One of your team members messaged me and I thought, oh, whatever, like I'll just chat, but I don't actually know exactly why I'm here. Those people, by the way, pretty much will never buy from you because they didn't have the intention of buying from you in the first place. They just came to have a chat. And then the third one is the life story. This is actually probably the most common answer, which looks something like this. Well, it started back in 1985 when I was 1 year old, and I wanted right out of the womb to become an entrepreneur. By 5 years old, I had a lemonade stand and blah, blah, and they just start going off on a crazy long story for 10 minutes. And when that happens, okay, when that happens, what ends up happening is they tell you this crazy long story, and then you just need to reiterate it, which looks like this in restating the confirmation. Hey, that was a lot. I'm grateful that you shared all of that with me. What I took away from it was you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. You really want to build a better, more effective business, and you're hoping that I can help you do that today. Is that right? Perfect. Now you have the frame that's very strong to be able to close with, and this model will help you be successful moving forward. Hopefully you like that. Okay, let's continue. Here's how we bridge the gap. This is the qualification process, okay? It's very simple to understand with just 4 W's, okay? Where are you now? Again, just having a hard time with these slides. I don't know why, but anyways, where are you now? What is your goal? What is the obstacle? And then what is the urgency, okay? Now, I want to clarify this. These are not the questions you ask on sales calls. You don't go on a call and be like, okay, David, where are you now? Okay, David, and where do you want to go? Okay, David, and what's your obstacle? Okay, David, and what's the urgency? That doesn't make any sense, right? These are buckets of questions. So for example, where are you now would look something like, how many roofing jobs are you getting per month? What are you currently doing for marketing? Those types of questions, right? That's how you frame this. In terms of a goal, like, what do you want to accomplish? How many jobs do you want? Do you want to be the one doing the jobs by yourself? Do you want to do the marketing in-house? Those are the types of things that you're trying to get clarity on. The urgency is something that a lot of people miss. They'll just do these 3, right? Now, goal, obstacle. If you don't get urgency, then you're going to get objection handling a lot of times where someone's going to tell you, let me think about it. Let me circle back with me, blah, 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 instead of simply getting clear on why they want to do it. Here's how you frame it, okay? I'm going to make it up. So right now, what you're telling me is your marketing agency is at $25,000 a month. You want to double that business to $50,000 a month. And the biggest obstacle you have is you are so involved in the business that trying to get new clients seems impossible and is based on referrals only. Is that right? Got it. Okay, I can help you, but I have one more question. I need to understand how fast you want to go from 25 to 50. Because if you say tomorrow, no matter what magic marketing pixie dust I spread, I can't make it happen in one day. And if you say you want it in 2 years, we're probably not on the same page in terms of urgency. How fast do you want it? And they'll almost always say, as soon as possible. Cool, I get that. But at what point really do you really need this by? And now they can start getting clarity on their childlike dream, on why they want it and how fast they want to get there. That's how you can use this as leverage to close on the first call. Does everyone understand this framework of the 4 W's? If you do, can you just drop a 7 in the chat? And if you don't, please ask a question. I want to make sure you are covered on this. This doesn't just have to be a, what's it called? A training. I just want to make sure you get it. There's 50 something of you on this call and 5 people put a 7. So I expect to see a lot more 7s. Got to drop them in there or I will not continue. I want to make sure you got it. Okay, cool. All right, looks like everyone's getting it. Looks like you're all covered here. Thanks so much for playing along with me here. Marcelo Saloop said, what specific question will you get past ASAP? Marcelo, can you ask that question again, please? I'm not sure I understand that. Oh, got it. You said ASAP, like as soon as possible. Cool. So someone says, hey, like, how fast do you want this result? They're like, ASAP. So you say, okay, totally understand. I want this to be ASAP as well, right? Let's put a definitive goal for it. Okay. You said you want to get to 20 clients a month. You're at 10. I'm confident I can help you do that within 90 days. Does that seem in line with you? Are you comfortable with that? Perfect. And if I started with you today, in 90 days, I can get you that result. Are you good with that? Perfect. That's how you handle it, Marcelo. Very good question. All right, let's rock and roll. This is now how you change 100%, Amir. Tonality is super important. This is how you change from the one call close, from the qualifying to the one call close, instead of doing a demo, okay? Instead of doing a second call. So you just recap the 4 W's, right? Looking something like this. So right now you have a roofing company that generates, 5 to 10 new projects per month. You need to double that. So it's 10 to 20 per month minimum. You need that done within the next 90 days so that you can hire another person on your team. So you don't have to be the one doing all of the work yourself. And the biggest obstacle is, since you're doing all the work, the marketing that you've done is mostly referral based, and other marketing services you've tried have not worked. Is that correct? Perfect. I'm really confident I can help you. This is the transition. I'm really confident I can help you. I told you at the beginning of the call, I'd only make you an offer if I felt I really could help you. I need another 15 minutes or so to show you exactly how this process works so I can help you get to this result. Are you open to that? Do you have the time for it? Now, you'll see here, these are scripts. Don't ever read a script on sales calls, ever. Just come from a place of understanding the frame and do it the best way you can. If you guys watch this training on any other platform I've done it from, which I've done this training, I don't know, like 75 times, probably, like literally so many times, it's crazy. It's always different because the way that I feel that day, the way that my words are coming across that day, it's just different. The frame is always the same, but I'll never read off the slide. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Jacqueline, yes, the slides will be shared. Avi, can you just write down, or Chin, can you write down Jacqueline's name and just get her the phone number, and she can get the slides. But yes, at the end, I'll give you the slides. I'll get you guys the slides. You just got to text me. The next framework is the 2-option close. Okay. The 2-option close, which is the yes or no frame. This one's optional. It's not like the end of the world if you don't do it, but if you feel confident with it, go for it. This is how you make sure you get more yeses and nos than maybes. Maybes are the worst answer on sales. It's also the most common though. So, hey, I'm about to share our proven process and system called Care Method that's going to help your agency get 25 new clients per month. All that I ask you is, if I go through this and you love it, you say, yes, I want this. But I also want you to know it's totally okay if you don't love it to say, nah, I don't think it's the right fit for me. That's totally fine. Are you good with that? Now you might ask me, Alex, why do you want to prime them to say no? The reason why is a lot of maybes are actually no's, but they don't have the audacity to say no. Has anyone ever been ghosted from a sales call before? Ever? Have you ever been ghosted? Right? All you have to do is just say, yes, I've been ghosted before, by someone saying, yeah, I want to work with you, and then they ghost you. The reason why Charmaine or Gregory or Neil or anyone Carolyn has ever been ghosted is because they like you on the call and they don't have the audacity to say no, right? Here, I'll go to that portion really quick so we can just get there. This is how you get the slides, and I'll come back to it just so you guys can grab this. Just text me text me one CC at this number, and I'll keep explaining and then go backwards. So anyways, point being is, if you're getting people that are telling you on calls, yeah, let me think about it, but I do want to work with you, and then they ghost you, it's because you're not giving them the option to say no. And most people think it's better to just ghost you than to say no, which is shitty. So just let them say no. It is okay, I promise. And when you get a no, it's actually very beneficial to learn from by asking, hey, I appreciate that. What can I learn from you on? Why is it a no? I was so confident that this is the right fit. Okay. Does everyone have this? Can I move off of it and come back to it? We good? Good. Got it? Cool. All right. We're going to come back. We're going to come back to this. Okay. All right. Let's continue here. Just a few more slides to go through with y'all. Okay. All right. The next one is the Ascension Promise. Okay. We're going to take you to a result. Remember, this is selling the result. This is super important. So right now in the chat, you should all write down what your result is. What is the result of your service? What is the result of your service? Drop that in the chat. Okay. I'm going to give you an example of the result here using the roofing industry. Okay. We're going to get you 20 new consistent roofing jobs per month with our proven process system called the Roof Growth Model. That's what you're looking for, right? That's what you're here for. This is super, super easy to understand and frame. Just got to make sure right off the bat that this is what they want more than anything. They want your result. Now, right after that, you want to overcome their skepticism by showcasing proof. Just showcase proof. We've had immense success before with roofers just like you who have dealt with referrals strictly. I'll make sure you're taken care of. And then just be transparent about the results, right? Look, obviously when I showcase testimonials, they're cherry picked. They're the best results that we've had. What I also like to do is show you a mediocre result, and that's this one. Now, mediocre in our world is still extremely good for you because you make money back. So I'll give you an example, okay? If I was to build you an ATM machine, Marcelo, okay? If I built you an ATM machine that you put $1 in and it gives you $1.50 out, would you ever stop putting $1 in? The answer is no. Those are our mediocre results. But here's the thing, when Christina put $1 in, she got $10 out. We're confident we can get you anywhere from $1.50 to $10 back metaphorically. That's why our results are so good. That framework works really well. Use it, please, it helps. The next piece is just giving them a taste of what makes you special. Again, just a taste. You got to share the 3 or 4 steps that help them hit a desired result, right? A very simple example is we're going to set up this ad. It's going to go to this landing page. We're going to call the leads for you. These are the 5 qualities of leads that we're going to give you, and they're going to buy from you. 4 steps. Bam. Easy. Make sure they understand also that it's not just a revenue winner. If your offer benefits them personally, meaning with their time, okay, if it also benefits their revenues and profits, the team, productivity, and workflow, you become an irresistible offer. You have to make sure that your offer is not just, I'm going to make you more money. More money is not the only thing people care about. They care about a lot of other things, mainly time. Can you save them time? Can you make their team more efficient? Can you make their business easier? Those are the elements, okay? The next piece is a competition slide. Just making sure that you have an example of what you're doing versus what your competition is doing is really key. Now, this is very important to understand. On your slide deck, if you have a slide that shows, hey, these are the things that all other companies do, and these are the things that we do, number one, never put the name of a competitor on your slide. If you have to lift yourself up by lowering a competitor, that's bad business. Don't be that person. You don't need to be that person. And most people won't buy from you because of that. What you do want to do is just say, look, I want to do our due diligence for you. I know that sometimes other people want to get to speak to other marketers and they want to consider what other options there are. Any company that's worth their weight will, of course, offer advertising services and a CRM for automated follow-up. What we do that's different is we have an actual ISA team that will call your leads for you. We provide you with follow-up sequences for sales, and we also help your team on how to sell more efficiently, upsells. Does that sound good? It will just break down for you why you're a no-brainer versus the competition, so you're handling the objections prior, okay? The next piece is the confirmation, right? And the ROI, okay? The confirmation is getting clarity on the value and the desire of working with you prior to the price. What most people screw up here at the end of the call is they mix this together. So they're like, okay, in order to get 20 new jobs per month, it's going to be $2,500 a month. It's a no-brainer. You should do this. What do you think? What ends up happening is they didn't listen to anything other than $2,500. So you always need to make sure that they want the service before the price is shared. So do you want the care method that's going to get you 10 new patients per month so you can have similar results to Chelsea? Do you want that? Well, Alex, what's the price? Look, if the price makes sense, right? If I can show you that you're going to make a return on investment, time and financially, is this the result that you want? Is this the product you were hoping for or not? Or is it only based on the price? And when they tell you, yes, I definitely want this as long as the price makes sense, now they've primed themselves to say yes. Making sense? This is a really important piece. Separating price and value. It's really, really important. If you get that, please drop a 1 in the chat. Absolutely key to understand this, okay? Shirin said, I couldn't get off work just now. I missed the earlier parts. We got you. Don't worry about that. Got you covered. Okay. The next piece, before you get to the price. Hey, so excited that you want this product. I can't wait to show it to you. Let me just show you the ROI potential, okay? Now, if you have a guarantee, it's a no-brainer. Now's the time to share it. If you guys have any questions about guarantees or whatever, let's talk about it. We should be good, honestly, for time, but just ask me any questions about it. When I'm done, I'll be done in a couple minutes, and we'll go through it, and I'll share each step for you on how to handle guarantees, okay? in terms of the ROI potential, it's really important that you understand logical decision-making, okay? Now, in terms of ROI, what you want to do is showcase your result in a conservative estimate. So if you promise that you're going to get them 20 leads guaranteed, show them what happens if you do a bad job and they get only 10 leads. So it becomes an absolute no-brainer. Meaning, look, if we get you 20 leads and you close half of them, like you said, you get 10 clients. You said each client's worth $1,000. That's $10,000 minimum, right? But let's say we do a crappy job. Let's say we only get you 10 leads and you close half of those, which is 5 clients. You only make 5,000. You'd still make a significant amount of money on a very conservative estimate. But remember, the 20 that I promised in the first place is our minimum. That's not our win. That's the minimum. Remember earlier I showed you a couple of our clients were getting 50 or 60 leads a month, closing 20 to 30 deals per month, making 20 to 30K. This is the opportunity. Do you see why this is so valuable for you and why it's a no-brainer to implement this method for your business? This is how it works, guys. This is how it makes sense. There's so much more I can share on ROI and potential and all that stuff, which I'll get to. Any questions you have on this, please let me know. I'm more than happy to support. This is where then you tell them the investment offer, right? So now that we've gone through this whole process and you want this implemented for your business, Derek, I'm going to help you get to 20 new patients per month while making sure you don't have to deal with you being the only person on your team actually growing the business. It's going to be a $2,500 a month investment. It is an absolute no-brainer. Everything that we went through here today is exactly what you're looking for. This is why you got on this call. This is what you need. You're going to make a significant return on the investment. You're going to be our next win. And I cannot wait to work with you. We should do this. Now you'll see here the confidence element. There's no scripts. It's just coming from authenticity, from conviction, from transparency, from integrity. If you do that, you will sell. If you don't, you will not. It is literally that simple, guys. Literally that simple. Okay. Hopefully this is really valuable for you. Hopefully this makes sense. Just remember this. Okay. Salespeople want to be sold. Salespeople want to be sold. They want to be sold with confidence, with proof, with risk mitigation, and telling, not asking. Because when you do that, you attract buyers. You attract people that buy because they feel it from you. And here's the crazy thing about it. When you end up winning, because you will, and you close a deal using this method, you're going to gain more confidence and proof that this works. The one call closes become easier. They become more natural. And here's the great thing. Your wins become expected. And when your wins become expected, you become more confident in what you do. When you become more confident in what you do, sales becomes easier. That's the great thing about the one call close framework. If this was valuable for you, please drop a 7 in the chat. I really hope so. I really hope it was very valuable for you. I really appreciate everyone's time here today. I'm going to go through every objection that you have in the book. I still have another like 15 minutes. If that's good with you guys, I can do it for you. I don't know if we can let everyone in on video so that they can speak to me or role play with me. I don't know that, Avi or Chin, but you guys can choose that. But if not, you guys can write it down in the chat. Okay. So while we are waiting here to see if we can do that.
Alex, yes, it's up to you. If you want to take live, we can, they can raise a hand and we can let them in.
Yeah, let's let them do it. Let's let them do it.
Okay.
While we're doing that, what is the number one objection you guys get from here? Just drop it in the chat. Do you get decision maker, urgency, yes, no decision, value, or price? Which is the ones that you get the most? Sorry, I meant this. My bad. I meant this. Which is the ones that you get the most? Which one do you get the most? Avi, go ahead. You had a question?
No, sorry. I was testing.
Okay.
Raise hand things. Apologize. Yeah.
No, you're good.
That's what they can use. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I answer any questions you have here. Okay. So Neil asked, if we shouldn't do discovery calls, then how do we turn a lead into an appointment? Right now, I do a discovery call. Okay, so let me clarify what I mean by one call close. It depends on your framework for generating appointments. I'm going to give you 2 different examples. If you do outbound prospecting, like on LinkedIn, you reached out to someone that's a good fit for you, then what you're going to do is you're going to call that person up, right? After they message you back and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. I have this result. I saw that you answered me. Do you want to jump on a call tomorrow? And then you do the call all at once. That does not count as 2 calls. That's an appointment setting call and then a sales call. Now, if you're saying that you get inbound calls from ads and they get on a call with you, why do you need to do a discovery? You're doing the 4 W's. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's the obstacle? What's the urgency? Then at the end, you say, I can help you. Can I show you in the next 15 minutes how we will serve you? And then they say yes, and that's how you do it. Hopefully that makes sense. What are the top 3 ways to establish credibility? That's a good question. Proof, and proof. No, the first one for sure is proof. In terms of the other 2, establishing credibility, it's hard to say in terms of anything outside of proof. Like if you have content that's also reflective of what you do. Like this morning, I had a sales call for POD, someone that joined up my program. And they said before the call, they're like, I watched all these reels that you did on Facebook and on TikTok, and they're all about anti-hustle culture and not being burnt out. And it resonated so much with me. So that's establishing credibility. And then third, I guess, doing like partnerships. So me being on with Invisible PPC is a way that I'm establishing credibility, because they wouldn't bring me on if I couldn't support, right? So hopefully that answers your questions. So if you have no proof at the moment, use your fulfillment partner's proof, whether it's Invisible PPC or someone else. And if you don't have proof or can't get proof from your fulfillment partners, very simple, is transparency. Saying, look, at the end of the day, I don't have any proof because you would be the first client. Just like every business in the world, everyone starts at 0. No one just magically has 1 client. It doesn't work that way. I'm really confident in this because I put time, work, effort, and investment into making this product. But you have to give me the chance to show you that this will work. Now, you can choose to go work with someone that already has a bunch of proof and testimonies, et cetera, but their price is going to be significantly higher, and you're not going to be taken care of as much as me, because as you know, with your first client, you're going to do everything you possibly can to make this work. So either you're comfortable that everything I've shared today, you believe I can do, or you're not comfortable, and either way is totally fine. Hopefully that helps. Is there a way that people can speak, or is it only, they can only type?
They can be promoted to panelists
Okay.
momentarily. If you give me the names, I have it ready here open.
If
Anybody?
anyone has an objection they want me to handle, you're more than welcome to join and ask me anything. What I'm going to do,
Yeah, role play is fun with Alex. So if anybody wants to jump in,
and what I'll do for all of you that text me, which here, this is how you can get it. If you didn't text me yet, what is going on with these slides? Text me this, and then I will send you the objection handling video. It's a 10-minute video where I go through every single one of these objections. Okay. Yeah, Anita, you just have to give us like a couple minutes to let you in the group. Like my group manager will let you in. No worries. All good. You'll get in.
Yeah, here, Anita wants to talk.
Cool. Anita, do you have a question? Or do you have an objection that you want help with? You're muted, Anita. Gotta unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hey, Anita, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Good. Good.
I didn't realize it'd be live. Sorry.
No, you're totally good. Do you have a question, like an objection that you struggle with in sales?
I'm totally new to this. I'm going to be making calls tomorrow.
Welcome.
I have a foot in the door offer to do mailers.
Okay, cool.
I've sent cold emails out and have no response.
Okay.
So now it's the next step of calling out. So
Definitely. Got to call them. Got to call them. 100%.
got to call. Yep.
Mailers, by the way, which is a great product. Just make sure that they know, like, hey, everyone's trying to offer you digital marketing services, but there's not enough people that are still using old traditional methods. The reality is direct mail works incredibly well. And what we do that makes it really valuable for you is we write a specific piece of copy that's unique to your business. And then we have callers call on your behalf after the fact. Hey, did you get that piece of mail that we did blah, 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 blah with? It works really well. I actually do a lot of direct mail myself, Anita. So if you friend me on Facebook or whatever, just ask me any questions.
And my agency is actually green marketing. I'm only dealing with green conscious businesses.
Love that. That's awesome. That's
yeah.
Very
Thank
awesome.
you. And so with the texting, will it work for me in Australia?
Texting. Yeah. This will work. It'll work.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Great. Thank you.
Does anyone want to come over here and ask me any objections or do role playing with me on any objection that you struggle with? I'll give you $100 if you can stump me, which you can't. So, but you can try. If anyone has any of these objections or any problems, or wants me to go through any of these, just drop in the chat if you want me to go through any of these for you, and I'll happily help you. I'm going back to just see if there's anything. Shrin Sharma said, do you think pre-call research is half the equation? or do we wing it? I wouldn't say it's that black or white, to be honest. It really depends so much, Shrin, on like your offer, the type of like clients you're getting. Like, I need way more information on that to answer, but I think any pre-call research helps. Like usually I work with personal injury attorneys. So anytime I'll do a sales call with a personal injury attorney, I'll always look at their website. I'll look at the market near them, like who's running ads. So I can on the call be like, oh, so you are in Orlando, Rubenstein Law, right? Yeah, they run a lot of ads. Okay, have you considered like running a similar amount of ads? Like that kind of stuff is valuable, but would I say it's half the equation? Nah, I wouldn't say it's half the equation. It's valuable, but I wouldn't say it's half the equation. Would you admit to being stumped? Yeah, Marcus, 100%, no doubt. Happy to. I have no issue with that. That works. I'm cool with being stumped. Marcus, feel free to come on and ask me anything you like and try to stump me. I'm totally good with it. No problem. Okay.
Marcus, you want to come on?
So Tiffany said number 8. Want to wait a week, a month, a quarter to start. So Tiffany, I want to handle this one for you. And let Marcus come on. Totally fine. He says he knows how to stump me. I'm happy to help. So Tiffany said, want to wait a week, a month, a quarter to start. So Tiffany, if you're getting this objection or anyone else is getting that objection, you didn't do the urgency appropriately on the call. Okay. The urgency not being done appropriately on the call is where most people get stuck. So if you have clarity on the front end for them saying, I want to get this result in this amount of time. And then at the end of the call, they say, Tiffany, it would be a lot better if we started in 2 months though. And you're like, but earlier, just 10 minutes ago, you just mentioned that you needed this done in the next 30 days. What's changed, right? So it's very, very dependent on understanding the urgency. If you don't do the urgency well, and you already got this objection afterwards, it's much more challenging to be successful in overcoming that objection. Because now we don't actually have the ability to leverage what they said earlier, okay? Shrin, in terms of walking you through 1 through 7 really quick, I've done a 10-minute video that I'm going to send to you. All you got to do is just text me this. I'll send you the video. Just ask for the objection handling video, and I have a 10-minute video going through every single one of them. So I already got you covered. Yeah, Shrin, just text me. Can I have anyone that texts me already? Just text me again. Like, can I have the objection video? I'll probably just send it to all of you anyways. It's totally fine. Exactly, Tiffany. Circle back around and use their own words. I wouldn't say against them, but same idea, like leveraging it for them. What's up, Marcus?
Hey, what's up, Alex?
How are you, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, dude. Appreciate you being on.
Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, what's the hardest question you've ever been asked in a sales call?
Hardest question I've ever been asked in a sales call. It's hard. I wish I could remember. I honestly can't remember, Marcus. Like 2 sessions ago, someone asked me an objection that I had actually never heard before that I thought was really good, and I can't remember it, which I'm so disappointed right now. It was so random and strange that I can't remember it, but I can tell you, at least it's not the answer to your question, but what's the best question I ever got, which is like, Alex, this was a great training. Like, what can I do though to take away from this when we did an hour? Yeah, I know, Tiffany, right? I'm going to remember at 2 a.m. Like, oh, Marcus, I'm going to text you. I remembered the question. But one of my favorite questions was, what's the 80-20 of this, right? You just did an hour-long training. You shared a ton of stuff with us. Like, what's the most important thing? So I just want to remind you guys of those 2 things. The why are you on this call frame? And then telling, not asking. If you do those 2 things, everything else will be fine. Marcus, what we do in POD is we audit sales calls for our clients. And I've audited a sales call before that it's 50 minutes. The first 48 minutes are so bad. All the frames are terrible. He offered like 8 different things on the call. He was interrupting the guy. It was just so freaking bad. And then at the end of the call, he like with immense confidence was like, Marcus, you got to do this. This is right for you. It's a no-brainer, blah, 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 blah. And the guy on the other end of the phone is like, dude, I love your confidence. I feel the energy. Here's my credit card. And I was cracking up because I'm just like, perfect example. Like, this call was garbage. You did a bad job and you got the result. So my goal of coaching this client was like, please don't take it that you did a good job on this call. The outcome is great. I'm happy about that, but the input was bad. Let's edit that and we'll get a better result. So I'm sorry that I don't remember that question. The hardest question I got, dang, I can't remember, honestly.
That means I just stumped you.
Yeah. That's not an objection of the hardest question. Yeah, I don't remember. It's a good question. I would have to consider like more deeply what's the hardest.
Okay. Cool, man.
doesn't go through, just friend me on Facebook here. I'll send you my Facebook link. And then real quick, does anyone live anywhere near Florida? Does anyone on this call live anywhere near Florida? Avi and Justin have sponsored POD Live, and we are offering to sponsor one of your guys' tickets if you live here. If you want to see the website and learn more about it, we're doing a 3-day event here in Tampa. We're going to do a yacht day on day 3. Lauren, you're more than welcome to come if you make it out. I don't know where you live or anything, but we'd love to have you, Lauren, and you can message me on Facebook. I just dropped the chat below. Marcus, did you have an objection that you wanted me to try to handle? If not, that's okay. Okay, no worries. That was funny.
All right, I'll just add something for you guys that before we heard Alex and talked to him. So many of you are our clients and many will be clients. Our approach was we presented our stuff like discovery and we said, okay, they'll come to us when they need us. Now we have changed the process too. By the time we end, and we used to, in fact, we were so bad at this that I have a video of a client showing us his gold Amex and saying, I'm ready to go. What do I need to do? So we used to tell them, we'll send you an email with the next steps.
Oh my God, I'm gonna.
I mean, like he's waving, and this is at least this one I caught. I told the sales guy, hey, in this situation, you just get them the link, right? They are ready with a credit card. So we have changed that now. So we actually end with, if you are here, let's do this. If you have a client already, we do this. If you don't have a client yet, this is what you should do. So we've been practicing it, and we are surprised at how often we used to think, oh, this is agency business, right? Till they don't have client or something will happen, nobody will close, right? They're not ready yet. Give it them that time. People are ready. They're actually closing. And Chinmay does a lot of sales calls just to audit. And I've been auditing a few with our salespeople. And Justin does that. So we are surprised how much people are ready. We assumed that they're not ready. And we used to send them, oh, we'll send you this detailed email and you can decide. So just a testament to just actually selling instead of just.
People are very, very afraid to get paid on the call. There's no need to be fearful. It's like when they say, yeah, let's do it, send me the invoice, just say, hey, look, let's just get the investment here now. I've got everything set up. As soon as we get that in, we're going to schedule our kickoff call so we can get everything lined up. You'll get an email with all the details. They're going to say yes. It's fine. No problem. So it's not an issue at all. I have 5 more minutes. Is there any other objection anyone wants or a question that someone has about guarantees or anything like that that I can help with before we go? And I promise you, I will send you all the video just in case you're here still and you want it. This is the video right here. That's the Loom video. It's a 10-minute video of me going through every single objection. And you're more than welcome to message me, join my group, ask me any questions. And if anyone is interested in prospecting on demand, my mentorship program, feel free to just message me on Facebook. I'm happy to talk to you about how we can help you grow your agency. Cool. A lot of people are asking about guarantees. So let's talk about that. No worries at all, Tiffany. You're all good. Everything's great. Okay, let's do this briefly here. If you don't understand, just please feel free to ask. There's risk mitigation is the idea behind guarantees, right? So I'm going to use my hands to explain this. There's no risk mitigation on one side of the spectrum, and then there's full risk mitigation on the other side. No risk mitigation is zero guarantee. The prospect, the client, assumes all of the risk for the service, okay? Then there is full risk mitigation, which is you assume all the risk, meaning a money back guarantee. In my opinion, this is an opinion, not a fact. My opinion is never, ever, ever offering a full money back guarantee, ever. There's too much risk involved in offering a full money back guarantee. I don't like it. What I like is right in the middle, which is a satisfaction guarantee. A satisfaction guarantee is a promise that you will get the result within a time frame, and if not, you will work for an additional time frame at no cost to get the result. So for example, if you say that your offer is, I will get you 30 appointments in 90 days, which is an average of 10 a month, and by the end of 90 days, you're at 27, it's their responsibility to pay for the ads, but not your management fee in order to get the next 3 appointments. The way that I like framing the guarantee is we'll work for an additional 45 days max with no management fee. You will have to pay for the ad spend, but we expect that will never happen. Now, the reason behind this is a few important notes. Number one, no one actually wants a money back guarantee. The reason they made the payment is because they want the result, not the money. Keep that in mind. So giving their money back doesn't do anything for them. They want the result. So a satisfaction guarantee ensures that they get the result, right? That's important. Plus, it's sharing risk. Both people have risk, okay? Second, when you make a guarantee, you really, really, really want to make sure that your guarantee is very, very conservative. So if you've worked, I'm making this up completely. If you have worked with dentists and you've worked with 10 dentists, and every single dentist you work with in 90 days, minimum is getting 40 leads, your guarantee should be 20 leads, because you know for a fact, unless some catastrophic thing happens, you're going to get more than 20 leads. So that when you do the ROI positioning at the end, when we say, hey, the guarantee is 20 leads, right? But that's our minimum. We're not there celebrating like, yeah, we got you 20 leads. That's the minimum. We've never had to invoke the guarantee because every single client gets above this result. But even if we give you lower than the guarantee that we promised, you're still going to get the result, which is why it's a no-brainer to work with us. Does that make sense? Everyone got clear on that? Confidence tips. That's a really, really good thing, Felix. Thanks for asking that. Confidence, I can talk about this for 2 hours, but I'll just share a few things that I do for confidence. To me, the most important thing about confidence is understanding your intention. The reason why I'm confident before I had results, it's easy for me to say now because of the amount of results that I've had and the success that we've had in coaching other agencies and my own sales, that makes confidence easy. But before I had success, when I just was 18 years old and I was selling to attorneys who are 55 and they've, had way more success in their life than I ever had. How did I have confidence? The confidence I had was that I was going to do everything necessary to ensure that I delivered the result that I promised. And when I know that I give it my best, that's when I can get the best results. So I'll give you a quick allegory that hopefully will help you and be pretty funny too. So I am a Jew, and the reason I say that is because you can't possibly tell that I'm 5'5" and not very athletic at all. But when I was younger, I played in a Little League baseball league, and I was the pitcher, and I was the closer, which is the last pitcher. And we lost one game that I remember when I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. And we lost, and normally after the game, we do like snow cones and hot dogs and stuff. And I just wanted to go home right away. So we go home and I like slam my door and I'm crying in my room, and my dad comes in and he's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, now I'm angry crying. You know the deal. Like, you know why I'm crying, And he was like, okay, so you're upset because you lost the game, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm very upset about that. So he said, okay, what do you think the batter wanted? And it blew my mind when he said that, because my brain was focused solely on how I felt. But the reality was obviously that the batter and the pitcher wanted the same thing, which is not possible. Both of us wanted the same outcome, to win. The batter wanted to get a hit to win. The pitcher, me, wanted to strike him out to win. Neither one of us can get both of the results. That's life. So my dad said, okay, now that you understand that that's life, you can't always get the result you want. Did you try your best? And I said, of course. Yeah, of course I tried my best. And he said, then what do you have to be ashamed of? You don't control the outcome. You can't force someone not to get a hit on you. You can't force someone to pay you a credit card. You can't force Google or Facebook to get the result you want. The only thing you can do is try your best. So Felix, the way that I become confident is by knowing that every single day I will show up and give it my best, really and truly. And if I can't give it my best, I will not show up that day. And I know that. I've known that as who I am since I was a little kid. I will always give it my best. And I'm a big, big sports fan. I love LeBron James. He's like probably my favorite athlete of all time. They lost 4-1 in the NBA Finals in 2018, I think it was, against one of the best teams in the world, the Golden State Warriors. And at the end of the finals, a reporter had the audacity to ask LeBron, he said, are you ashamed of your team? Because LeBron carried them and the team played terribly. And LeBron said, of course I'm not ashamed. We gave it our best. The better team won. We gave it our best. We tried our best, and that's good enough for me. And that guy is a billionaire playing a sport that's a game, right? But that's very important to a lot of people. And he's saying that too. It's the same lesson my dad said, and it's the same lesson I'm telling you. That's how I build confidence, by showing up every day, every single day, and truly and sincerely giving it my best. And that's what I always try to do, coming from a place of integrity. And hopefully that helps. Sincerely.
All right.
I think that is that.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. And you guys know how to reach us for the slides directly. This webinar recording you'll get through us. But if you want slides, once again, you can put the number down there, Alex, maybe, and just text Alex directly. And you will also that way get connected with Alex. He's on Facebook. Connect with him. So that's the other way. and just follow his training. It's amazing, as you guys, I'm sure, got from this. There's a lot more here. If you are part of our community, partner program, you're in Florida, you want to be there, as Alex was pointing out, we could possibly sponsor, a couple of you guys. So reach out to me or Chin directly. Let me know if you want to be there with us. I think I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. Justin and I will be there. And there is a amazing yacht, and the venue is also, the venue is called View. It's amazing as well. So looking forward to that.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you so much for being here today. I'm super grateful for your time. Sorry that it was an hour and a half. I know everyone had an hour, but Wells, if you want to come out to the event, just message me on Facebook, please, so that or text me or whatever. But just make sure that I know, and we'll make sure that you're sponsored for the event from IPPC. We have a couple tickets we can give away for all of you. Thanks so much for giving me the time. I really hope this helped. Please learn from this. Be confident in your sales. Go out there and make the offers that you can and support people the best way you can. If you need anything from me, just reach out. Always with love, always with respect. Chin, lovely to meet you. Avi, appreciate you. Justin, hope you're enjoying your vacation.
Yeah, he's in Cabo. He's saying he's having
Better
really.
be enjoying it, my man.
Yeah.
Everyone else, always love, always respect. Wish you lots of good health, happiness, success, and prosperity. I'll see y'all later.
All right. See you guys.
See you. Bye.